greatly magnified. We know, therefore, that there has been no past eternity of matter. When matter did not exist, the radioactive elements in existence today have not yet been in existence long enough to have run their course, and disintegrated into lead. To have always existed, without any definite time of starting in the past, this life period of radioactive elements long ago would have run its course. All radioactive elements would have long ago disintegrated into lead. Since these elements exist only for a definite span of years, and all the uranium, radium, thorium and other radioactive elements in the world today have not yet existed that many years, there was a time, prior to the duration of this span in the past, when these elements did not exist. Here we have definite scientific proof that matter has not always existed. Here we have definite specific elements which once, in the long ago, did not yet exist. Then there came a time, later, when these elements came into existence. Evolution usually postulates that things come about gradually, through the slow-moving natural processes of the present. Try to imagine, if you can, something coming into existence out of nothing gradually. Can your mind entertain the idea? I think not. No, I think if you are rational you will have to accept the fact of a special and necessarily instantaneous creation. And some power or someone had of necessity to do the creating. There is a cause for every effect. And in accepting that inevitable fact, proved by the findings of science, of the existence of that great first cause, you have accepted the fact of the existence and pre-existence of the Creator, God. Where did life come from? But how about the presence of life? How did life get here? Science has learned some things about that, too. The wisest of the ancients did not know what science makes available today. Thus it is demonstrated today that life comes only from life, and that each kind reproduces only after its kind. Genesis 1-25. The works of Tyndall and Louis Pasteur, in the field of bacteria and protozoa, finally demonstrated scientifically once and for all in these more minute fields what Reddy first demonstrated with larger organisms. All the advances of recent medical and surgical science in the treatment and prevention of germ diseases are based upon this great truth of the law of biogenesis, that life can come only from pre-existing life. No fact of science stands more conclusively proved today. Life cannot come from dead matter. There is not one shred of truth from science to account for the presence of life upon the earth by any means other than a special creation by the great original first cause, God, who is life and the fountain source of all life. It is now absolutely certain, according to all that can be known from science, according to all that is rational, that it required a real creation to produce life from the not living, organic from inorganic matter. Life only from life. One cannot rationally deny the existence of my God, unless he can account for the origin of life without a creator who, himself, is life. The Creator, therefore, begins to be revealed, by science and by reason, as a living God, a God in whom is life, and who alone has imparted life to all that have it. I could go further, and show you that what science has discovered about energy and its origin and the laws of conservation of energy, also proves conclusively that the works were finished from the foundation of the world. Hebrews 4:3, that the material creation is a completed work, which is not now going on. Next, then, let's examine whether the great first cause is a being of intelligence, or merely some blind, dumb, unintelligent force. Is anything superior to your mind? Look about you. You admit that the transmission of knowledge to your mind is limited to the channels of your five senses. So now I ask you, do you know of anything that is superior to your mind? Look at the planets coursing through the sky. Behold, in all its splendor, the entire cosmic universe, with its suns, its nebulae and galaxies. Yes, they are inanimate. They have no mind, no intelligence. They cannot do what you can do: think, reason, plan, and carry out plans according to private volition and will. The human mind can know, think, reason, plan, and carry out its plans to execution. It can invent and produce instruments by which it may acquire knowledge of the vast universe, or of the minutest particle. By developing rockets and computers, man is able to send astronauts to the moon and bring them back alive. He can cause rivers to run backward, turn the forces of nature to serving human needs. And now he has learned how to release the energy of the atom, and utilize a power so vast that man is able at last to annihilate all life from the earth. But there remains one thing no man ever has been able to do. He cannot build, make, produce, or create anything that is superior to himself. A man can take existing materials and out of them build a house. An automobile is almost a living thing, but the intelligence and powers required to invent and produce it are superior to the thing produced. The supreme intelligence to suggest to you that anything you could invent, make, build, or bring into being could be superior in intelligence and ability to you and your mind would certainly insult your intelligence. Now let me ask you candidly, do you honestly believe that any power or force of less intelligence than your mind produced you? If you do not believe in my God, then you have only the alternative of believing that something less than your intelligence produced you, that dumb, purposeless unintelligence brought into being your intelligence. The only rational possibility is to acknowledge that the very presence of the human mind is proof that the great First Cause is also the supreme intelligence, infinitely superior to the abilities of mortal man. Suppose you were creator? Suppose that you could add to your powers of reasoning, planning, designing, the actual creative power, so that you could project your will anywhere to produce and bring into being whatever your mind should plan and desire. Then, suppose you undertook the designing, creating, fashioning, shaping, and setting in motion a limitless cosmic universe, with planets and suns and nebulae and galaxies in all their splendor, each of these vast units being of such intricate and complex construction as the existing universe. On one of these planets you would plan and produce all the forms of life that exist on this planet, and I do not mean reproduce, for there would be no present universe to copy. There would be worlds within a world, down to the minutest infinitesimal particles of matter we cannot even see by the aid of the most powerful microscopes. Do you think your mind would be equal to the task? Just stop and think. Is it rational, then, to believe that any power or force lacking even human intelligence could have planned, designed, created, formed, fashioned, shaped, put together and set in motion the awesome universe we behold? The first great cause who created matter, then, stands revealed as the supreme intelligence and architect of the universe. The miracle of living food. But again I say, look about you. Here are human beings on this earth, composed mainly of certain, specific elements of matter, living, organic matter. These elements of life must be supplied and replenished through food, water, and air. No man with all his ingenuity and science and laboratory facilities can produce food. That is, he cannot take plain inorganic matter and turn it into the living substance we call food. But some power, force, intelligence, or being did in some way, at some time, start the process going, a process far too wonderful for any man to devise or produce. And so it is that out of the ground grows grass, and green leafy vegetables, and all other vegetables, and vines, and trees yielding fruit, each with its seed in itself, each through the seed reproducing after its kind, and it is very good. But when a marvelous little grain of wheat is planted in the ground, a plant develops and sprouts above the ground, and in some manner too wonderful for any human mind to understand or imitate, the elements drunk in through the roots from the ground are utilized by the life germ in the seed of wheat,